You ever wanted to change your financial position but didn't have the cash or credit to do so? Well, wholesaling real estate is something that you can do without cash and without credit to change your financial position and to build capital and build wealth. And in this show, the Real Estate Investor Next Door show, we're going to talk to beginner wholesalers to figure out how they are doing deals in today's market. So I know many of you are struggling out there to figure out how to do deals and what to do and how people are actually doing deals in today's market. Well, in this show, we're going to bring you beginner wholesalers and talk about their struggles and how they began to get started wholesaling real estate and how they're wholesaling real estate in today's market. So today we're going to talk to Chelsea Gilford, a beginner wholesaler that I met at the beginning of my journey. And I've done multiple deals with Chelsea, and we have actually squatted up to share subscriptions and to share virtual assistants. So we don't have to pay so much month to month in order to stay in this wholesaling game. So let's welcome Chelsea to the show. How you doing, Chelsea?
I'm good. How are you? It's so
Uh,
formal when we work together all the time. So, but hey, everybody.
yeah, we work together a lot. So me and Chelsea, early on when I started wholesaling, we squatted up. So I encourage you guys to do the same thing. Squat up with somebody and kind of, work together and share like these subscriptions that cost a lot of money and share, the VAs that you work with, share those people. So and that'll help, everybody at the end, long as everybody on the up and up. So, but anyway, so Chelsea, what were you doing before you got into real estate?
I was teaching full time. I've taught kindergarten, second grade, and fourth grade. And so before the pandemic, I kind of had made up my mind that I wanted to stop teaching and focus fully on this. And then the pandemic hit, and it was like a confirmation, like, okay, perfect timing. And so I just dove right in. Um, and so I was teaching before I started wholesaling.
Wow, say teaching those little kids, I teach, but I teach at the high school level. I couldn't imagine teaching little kids.
Yeah, they're a different breed of people.
Yeah, it's crazy. So what got you kind of involved in real estate? Like, what made you think, man, I need to probably try to look into this or maybe pursue it?
I think I was like scrolling on YouTube or something, and like this Fortune Builders clip had came across, and I was like, let me see what this is, because I do want to make some more money. Because if anybody out there teaches, you know that paycheck, it ain't always the one.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I had came across this Fortune Builders event, and they were gonna have like a 3 day event in Atlanta, and so I wasn't doing anything, so I went, and they were talking a lot about hold on one second, what real estate investing is, how to start, and so I became very interested. And so I kind of took the information back home and started to dig more into it. And the event lasted for about 3 days. So by the third day, they wait. You know how they wait to the end and tell you how much it costs.
Got you.
And
Yeah.
so it was either, well, I waited to the third day. I went all 3 days, and then they laid this $90,000 price on me, and I was like, whoa,
Whoa. Yeah,
whoa.
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, so I was thinking about going back to school to get my master's, and that was half of the 90. So I was like, if I'm gonna pay 90,000 for this, I might as well just go back to school. So I kind of just I didn't give up on it though. I still kind of searched through YouTube, and that's kind of where I kind of got the interest, was through this Fortune Builders event. But I didn't end up using them as like my final path to kind of use them to help me through.
Got you. So once you start looking into like that fortune builder thing, were they talking about wholesaling? Were they talking about like buying and holding or flipping, or what were they talking about?
They run your credit score. They don't run your credit score. They ask you what your credit score is. They ask you how much money do you have saved, and then they kind of determine where you should be. And so, based on the income I was making and my credit score and everything, I was still at a beginner level. So they were saying that the best option for me was to wholesale. And so they do a good job with kind of making sure that they are doing great with follow up. So they do teach you a lot about what you should be doing in the business at the beginning by how they follow up with you. And so they were calling, asking me to apply for this credit card so they can get my credit right and all that, just for them to be able to kind of get me to pay for this program. And so it just was based on like where you were and how much information you knew about real estate, on where they determined if you should be wholesaling, if you should be flipping, or if you should be a long term, where it just determined on where you were in real estate.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I know when I first got started, I kind of didn't look into wholesaling. I looked into buying and holding, but when I started buying and holding, I realized quick that I don't have enough money to buy and hold enough properties that I
Right.
need. So, but anyway, so you knew you was gonna try to get into wholesaling. Like, what was your first steps to try to get into wholesaling, and kind of walk us through the journey that you took toward getting your first deal?
Gotcha. So after I went down the YouTube rabbit hole, I realized that I needed a coach or somebody. I needed somebody to kind of show me step by step. So then I came across I knew that I wasn't going to be able to spend 90,000. So I kept doing some research to see if I could find someone else or a different program. I heard about Wholesaling Inc. I came across Jay Morrison. I came across Max Maxwell. At the time, Max wasn't offering a program, but I had, I think I had, it was like the first of the year, January 2019. I was like, I'm going to do a gift to myself and just buy this class. And so I bought $1,000 class, and it was just straight videos. It wasn't anything. It was no one you could pick up and call if you didn't understand. It just was straight a guy in front of a whiteboard, just straight, that was it. And so I was like, this is not the type of learner I am. I work with kids. I know that there's different types of learners, and the style that he was giving, it wasn't me. So I still was on this journey of trying to figure it out. So I was doing a lot of trial and error stuff. So I had bought a list from PropStream. Everybody was talking about PropStream. I had got PropStream. I had pulled a list, and I didn't know what to do with it. I was scared to get on the phone, so I was never a cold caller at the beginning. So I heard about Batch, I think through Flipman. So I had got Batch, I uploaded it, and I had got some people rolling in saying yes, 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 and I didn't know what to do. So I had just froze, and I was like searching YouTube, what do you do after they say yes? And I was so new that I probably fumbled a couple deals at the beginning. And so, yep, after that, I came across Chris Jefferson, joined his program, and that's where I met Byron. And we teamed up, hit Augusta, and was following up with the seller. For a few months, she was kind of in a situation where she owed way more than her house was worth. And so finally we were able to kind of find a buyer for her, and get back in touch with her, and that was my first deal. So it kind of came easy. I didn't have to go through a lot of hoops, but the second one was rough. So but that's just kind of how I got started, was kind of just figuring out my way. And then definitely, if everybody who's just starting, I would definitely kind of tell you to get a mentor or a coach or someone to kind of help guide you along, because you will get lost on YouTube. You definitely will get lost in the midst of just trying to figure out if you're not just following one person, because everybody's style is so different. So that's kind of where I was I kind of got a mentor, and then I got a great partner. Byron and I have been working together, and it's been on go since.
So that was a VA that we shared. I got it from onlinejobs.ph, and so the VA got the lead to you, and then you then followed up on that lead and called the lead back. So kind of how did that conversation go with the lead that resulted in your first deal?
Okay, so once the call kind of came in, they already kind of handled some of the things that you go through in a script, as far as the person's motivation, a price that they're looking to get, the condition, and a date, a time frame on when that person wants to sell. And so all I did kind of was reiterate, kind of see where she was, and build some rapport. That's real key. when you are talking to sellers, just to kind of build some rapport so that they do feel comfortable with you. So it just looked like, hey, seller, you spoke with my partner, so and so, and she did mention that you were interested in selling the property. We did want to pick it up from you. We pick up about 2 to 3 a month in yours. We're very interested in yours. What's kind of got you thinking about selling? So she kind of talked about what the reason was and how the tenants were doing. She wasn't happy with the tenants. And so I said, oh, I hate that you're having to deal with this. We're going to work to kind of get this off your hands. When are you trying to look to sell? And so I think it was like October or November, and she wanted to sell the property right before she had to pay another mortgage payment. And so when I had put it out on on Marketplace, there wasn't really any buyers biting at it because the price was high. But it had to sell for that price because the seller owed on it. And so I kind of had that very descriptive in the description that the price, it wasn't that high compared to the comps, but it was not your average kind of wholesale fee, a kind of a house that you pick up at a discounted rate.
So how much did she owe?
She owed about 50,000 on it, so she was okay with kind of walking away with nothing.
Gotcha. So how much? So she owed 55, and you offered her.
I offered her 55, and I put it out at 60.
Oh, okay. Got you. So now you've offered her 55. How did you get her the contract?
By the time I got to the end of the conversation, letting her know what we did, what our business did, I did let her know that we needed to get an agreement signed that says that she's happy with this price and kind of what next steps were. And so she was okay with that. She said that she wanted to go ahead and have me send it. So I sent the agreement over. She had some questions about it. We walked through the questions, and then I was able to get her to sign it. And then next steps was it was sent to the title company.
Okay. And who did you get that contract from? Like who did you get the contract from? Where did you get it from?
I think I got this contract from Chris.
Gotcha. So you got a contract from Chris Jefferson, and then you sent her the contract. She signed it. So now you got on the contract. And then you put the property on Facebook real estate groups.
I posted it in the real estate groups, and I posted it on Marketplace. And Marketplace is where I end up finding a buyer.
Gotcha. So you found a buyer on Facebook Marketplace, and did the buyer go look at the property, and did you go with the buyer?
Actually, he didn't. I sent him the pictures, and he was happy with it because it was in a really nice area, and it was good to go. He didn't ever go and look at that property.
Did you go look at the property?
Yeah, I went to go look at it, and I got photos of each room. I took a picture of the AC unit, the date on it, the hot water heater, the date on that. The roof had just been done. So I got a lot of good photos and a lot of good information when I followed up with her about the condition, that the buyer kind of was good on not seeing it because of the area and what he knew about what was going on over there.
And this property was in Augusta, right? Augusta, Georgia?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So bam, you got the seller locked up, the buyer locked up under contract, and you said the seller was under contract at 55 and the buyer was under contract at 60.
Yep.
All right. So what contract did you do with the buyer?
The contract from the buyer came from Chris too.
Gotcha. So was it the same purchase sales agreement? Were you doing a double closing?
The attorney that we used, they had a fee that kind of included for the seller not to be able to see what was going on. So we did do that, but I think I've used them several times, and I really think they just do all of their deals like that so that the seller can't see what's going on, and it's just you have to pay that attorney fee. But luckily the buyer ended up paying the closing fees and the seller's escrow and all that, so I didn't have to really come out of pocket with anything because the buyer took care of it.
Oh, okay. So it kind of was a double closing, but the buyer took care of all the fees.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So bam, you got a deal. You got your check. How did it feel getting that first check?
It was like, oh man, this hard work has paid off. And y'all, I'm bad. I'm real hard on myself. So at first, before I had people like Byron and my mom and my grandmother say, that's $5,000 more than you had. You should be grateful. I was looking for that 30K, 10K check. But it was still a good feeling because I hadn't been working. And so it was good to just feel like this is possible, and then definitely just to stay consistent to see what else I could get.
Gotcha. So what have you been doing since that first deal? How has wholesale real estate been going with you since that first deal?
I've still been staying consistent. We, like I said, Byron and I partnered up, and we were able to do really good at the end of the end of the quarter of last year. And so I was able to get another deal out in Augusta to that same buyer. That house was in really bad condition, so I only made about 1,000 on that one. And then the third one that I did, Byron and I had kind of tag team. That deal was crazy, but we had Byron had got the lead, came in. I kind of went on the appointment, built some rapport with the seller, and then we found the buyer, and that was the third one. And then when top of 2021 came in, business had slowed down. I got a little frustrated, but I stayed consistent, and things have been picking back up. So just being consistent more than anything, and making sure that every day you putting in work.
Gotcha. So how many deals have you closed so far since you started? And when
Mm,
did you start?
I started July of 2020.
Gotcha. And how many
And
deals have you
since
closed?
then, I have closed 3 or 4 deals.
Gotcha. And how many deals you got a couple deals under contract right now though, don't you?
Yeah, it's been going crazy with that text marketing. We have let me see, I think two, might be three. They've been coming in hot. I told you January, February was slow. March has been running, trying to run it up.
Gotcha. So definitely, man, that's great. And just being able to complete, 4 deals within the first 6 or 7 months, that's really good. Especially when you first getting started. And now you have 2 properties under contract. I think you got a third one that you're locking up. So there'll be more closings coming up.
Yes.
This wholesaling thing isn't easy, guys.
No, it's
But
not.
if you stay in it and stay consistent, you'll end up closing deals, and you'll end up, making money at the end of the day. How much you made off of those deals, total?
Mm, Total, probably about eight in that the last quarter of the year, about 8 to 10,000, if I'm not mistaken.
Gotcha. So 8 to 10,000, that ain't nothing to sneeze at.
Right.
I know that before I started wholesaling, I was a teacher as well. So $8,000, that's a couple of paychecks.
Man,
So
that's about 2 months of checks.
yeah, so definitely, man. But I know what you got coming up is even bigger. So it only get better if you stay in it and grind. So, and that's what Chelsea's been doing. So. But anyways, what do you see yourself going from here? Like, what do you see yourself? What's your next step?
Ultimate goal is to definitely own my own properties. I got some big dreams. I want to own my own subdivision. And before we get that far, the reason why I kind of stepped away from teaching was I want to own my own school. And so I knew that me just teaching every day, and saving money, the money from teaching is just enough to make it through your living. So it wasn't going to be kind of possible for me to save in a good period of time to open up my own school. So I kind of, when I was at that Fortune Builders event, I heard about this lady who had opened this school from just wholesaling and flipping
Oh
out in
wow,
Africa. And it kind of inspired me, like, man, if she can do that, I know I got it in me. I can make it happen. So next steps, once I get a down payment for a building, would be to open up my next school. And definitely to continue wholesaling, kind of be able to branch away from the business and kind of have a team where it's running in the background, and I'm kind of just getting passive income and getting some rentals in the next steps.
Gotcha. Well, that's great. That's an awesome vision, and you gotta have a vision. You gotta have a why that kind of
Yes,
push
yes.
you to keep doing what you're doing. Uh, so, Chelsea, what do you think? You know, getting started and struggling and grinding all the time to get deals. What do you think separate people that stay in it and keep getting deals? What separate the people that's successful from the people that fail, give up, or never get started?
I think you gotta have some solid people behind you. So, like I told you in the beginning, I'm a part of Chris Jefferson's programs, and one thing that he's really big on is community. And so, all of my friends are teachers, so they're not pushing me to stay down and hustle and grind. They don't know what that looks like because they're just going to work every day, which is nothing wrong with that. It's just that sometimes you kind of want something different, and I was that person that wanted something different. So being able to have a person like Byron, another good friend of mine, David, Ashley, I have a lot of people behind me that are in the same business that are able to kind of make sure that I'm up every day, that we hold each other accountable, making sure that what needs to be done is done. If we have a down day, making sure the next day you picking up and keep it going. So definitely kind of getting some people that understand where you're trying to go behind you, and you are holding each other accountable, because this business is not easy whatsoever, and you have to stay consistent. You have to have a mindset. I think that's big. I've grown so much in that mindset piece, reading. It's definitely a lot of pieces that just play into it than what you just see when people just, oh, I just closed my first deal in 30 days. That's not everybody's story.
Yeah.
So definitely making sure that you have a team, you got your mindset right, you're reading, you're being consistent. All of those play a major part in making sure that you can be A1 in this business.
Gotcha. And the last question I got for you, where can people connect with you if they want to reach out?
You can find me on Instagram at and I'll have Byron tagged at the bottom at Chelsea_Ari. And I sell wholesale merch, so website coming soon. It'll be on my page by the time y'all see this video and all that. But if you all want to tap in, kind of see, get some more information, definitely tap in with Byron. He knows how to get with me. And my Instagram, like I said, Chelsea_Ari_ on Instagram. Here are my brands back here behind me. And so, yeah, that's it.
And Chelsea actually made this shirt for me. I really appreciate it. And I'll be wearing some other shirts that she made. So go check her out, guys. She's awesome. Like I said, a lot of my success is due to her because we just linked up, squatted up, and started like helping each other. So that always, you know, networking and finding other people that you can work with is always good. So, bam, there you go, guys. Chelsea grinded every day and struggling, but still making it through and closing deals. And she's going to be doing great things in 2020 and 2021 and beyond. So there you go, guys. Our interview with Chelsea. We're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. And until next time, we'll see you guys. Peace.